Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jinyi from JS Study Solutions Seremban. I'm a student advisor. Today, we are very honored to have professional representatives to share with you all on the topic of bioscience. Biosciences explores the future potential of human and the planet. So please stay with us until the end because we will be having Q&A session in the end of the sharing. This event I want to introduce to you is we specially organize this event for you by Study Hub and JS Study Solutions. As you all can see from here, we provide many services in relating to your tertiary education. So don't worry, always find our counselors to help you because as well our counseling service is free of charge. We don't charge you anything, but we will help you and give you suggestion on your tertiary education. And besides that, we are having several centers in Malaysia, including Sabah in East Malaysia. So please remember again to contact our student advisors for more professional counseling and assistance in applying for university college in Malaysia and overseas as well. I just want to bring to you tomorrow we also will be having our turning point series. We are doing architecture and quantity surveying. If your friends are interested in this topic, you can ask them to join us tomorrow, 2 o'clock in Zoom, right? So today we invited University of Nottingham, Malaysia to present today's topic, biosciences. I would like to introduce to you the speaker today. She is Dr. Christina Subramaniam. She obtained her PhD in molecular plant pathology from the University of Nottingham. She is also an assistant professor at the School of Biosciences and a member of the Center of Sustainable Palm Oil Research at the University of Nottingham, Malaysia. Prior to joining this university, Dr. Christina was the head of the research division at an international biotechnology company and was a principal scientist for field trials to determine the efficiency of organic waste compost to improve soil microbial populations in oil palm plantations. So without any delay, I will now pass the time to Dr. Christina from the University of Nottingham, Malaysia to share with you all about biosciences and how biosciences expose the future potential of human and the planet. So I welcome Dr. Christina.
Thank you, Ginny. Thank you for the introduction. Let me share my screen. Give me a minute. Okay. Can everyone see my screen? Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. So, good afternoon, everyone. So, thank you for the kind introduction. So, my name is Christina. I've been teaching biosciences at the University of Nottingham. This is my 15th year. It's a bit long, actually, but we actually started as a very small campus, or rather a small population campus. And then we grew by leaps and bounds over the years. And now we're celebrating our 20th anniversary. I think we celebrated last year, if I'm not wrong. So today I want to speak to you about biosciences. I chose this topic, explores the future potential of human and the planet, because it is the science of the 21st century, and whatever that we're going to do from now on is going to be something to do with biosciences, right? So let's see what is it about, right? All right, hold on now, my slide is not changing. Hold on. Okay, so by 2050, our population is destined to grow into 9.7 billion. Earlier, the estimation was 9 billion. Now it's 9.7, and the numbers are still growing. So we are going to face, whether we like it or not, we're going to face a food shortage. We are going to have food, but not necessarily um, nutritious food. And then there is a lot of case of antibiotic resistance going on, especially antibiotics taken by human as well as animals. New diseases and pandemics are coming about as we are experiencing COVID now. And on top of that, we have climate change effects. So when we look at the overall picture, it's all like doom and gloom, but actually we humans are the smartest species on earth, so we should be able to figure out what to do. Okay, so I'm going to leave my video, my screen video off because I think it'll affect the performance of my laptop. Okay, so sorry about that. So I was just setting the scene to share with you what biosciences is all about. It is not a new study. Before this, we know what is it known as biology, biochemistry, microbiology, and maybe human studies. But now it is all encompassed into this term called biosciences. So as I was saying, we are facing a lot of with the human population, but it's not just the human population. We are also facing natural disasters, where one side of the world we have lack of water, where plants are becoming weak and they are dying, and they are having trouble growing crops as food. And on the other side, like in our side of the world, we have lots of rain, thunderstorm, hurricane, and we uproot a lot of trees and crops. So what scientists have predicted is that we have to grow about 70% more crop just to feed the population, right? And we haven't even gone into talking about nutritious food, right? So bioscience is a study of life, right? So in high school, you probably study biology, and then you studied chemistry, then you studied physics. So bioscience is a combination of all of these, including mathematics. Although a lot of people say, oh, bioscience is good because I don't like mathematics, but it is including all of these, except the emphasis is more on biology, right? So from ecosystem to populations, we are looking at how things are going to impact our life. So the biosciences that we do in Nottingham, in the UK, of course, the School of Biosciences is very old. In Malaysia, we are right around 15 years now. There's a lot of area we can study the life forms, but we specifically have few themes that we focus on, and the first one is food. So food, not just in the plant studies, it's not studying to be a farmer, but studying food production as a whole, meaning can we have plants that can stand the weather outcomes in the future, meaning even if the temperature is 40 degrees Celsius outside, extremely hot, we still have green plants growing well. Can we do that? And then can we have plants where you eat a type of plants and then you get all the vitamins rather than taking supplements? So food production is way more than just growing the plants, right? And then we also need to think about protection and preservation for enhanced food security. Now, this is when we grow plants, 25% of all crops is actually lost. So imagine when you see fields of tomatoes or carrots or strawberries, 25% we never can have because they rot or they have diseases or something goes wrong. It used to be 10% about 10 years ago. Progressively, we are losing more and more crops. So one of the vegetables that maybe your grandchildren won't see is bananas, because it's predicted that bananas will end up in the museum. They are the fastest going extinct crop. So if you look at a banana and you say, it's just banana, imagine it will not be available in the future simply because it is not a strong tree to fight against all the elements, right? And then when we talk about food security, we're also talking about processed food. So we know that food from raw food become processed food. It also goes through a lot of processes. We don't want any chemical preservatives or anything that is going to harm us. So when we talk about food, it's a whole system on its own. And then we are talking about the growth development of plants and animals. So when we are included in that animal category, so we want plants and animals to withstand. So as you see, there are more and more people living to their old age. And what they don't want is being old and then being incapable of taking care of themselves. Is the same for plants, is the same for animals. So all these organisms want the best quality of life at any point of life. So biosciences is a field of study that sort of finds ways and means to make everything better, right? Can we improve the anti-aging factor? Can we improve the quality of meat in the animals? Can we improve the production of meat? Now we have meat, you don't even need a cow, but you can have the meat, right? So there's so many ways in which we can cut short the process, makes things more efficient, and most importantly, solve hunger, right? That's our main goal. We don't want anybody going hungry in any time of the day, right? So when we have too much to eat, we may end up with health and disease issues. So this is also part of biosciences, where we are increasingly trying to understand what diet is working for who. We know now that no one diet works for everyone, right? Those days they say, oh, eat like this, eat less carb, eat more carb. But every individual have their own set of DNA, and so you cannot follow somebody else's, or you cannot have a one size fits all, right? So this is what we learn now. Those days we didn't know. Everybody eat the same pyramid of food, right? And then we have newer understanding in medical and pharmaceutical. Now, if it is not for biosciences, we would not have a vaccine for COVID today, right? If you look at COVID vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine, it was the fastest vaccine to be designed in the history of mankind, because the vaccine didn't go through the normal vaccine process. It is an mRNA vaccine. It is a vaccine that is purely by design, and it is supposed to do one thing and one thing alone, which is increase our immune system. And because of the knowledge that we have in biosciences, we were able to make this fast, right? And once you've made the vaccine, you can continue to improve it. So we have some sort of hope now for COVID, right? And it's all due to the biosciences and the study and the importance of living organism, right? So our school, the School of Biosciences, we internationally recognized, especially for food and food quality research and food and health. So we also throw in the environmental protection, because in the UK, our School of Biosciences has more than 30 degree programs. We don't have all of that in Malaysia, but that means that they've been around very long. In fact, University of Nottingham in UK started as College of Agriculture. So what we are talking about is not just farming, but it has a lot of other technologies and newer improvements that are running together. So whenever you go to the world and you see future food, right? If you type future food beacon, you will come to Nottingham, right? In the website, right? You can try that. So we are leading the world in biosciences. We also, in Malaysia campus and the UK school, we are seamless. We work very well with each other. We teach the same course. It's just the person different and the environment different, but it's essentially the same subject, same modules, very similar in running with each other. And then we have graduates which are armed with knowledge. I always tell the students, when you have a Nottingham degree and you go for an interview and you have other universities side by side, they always will put the Nottingham on top. Not because we are an old university or whether we are well known, is because we have something called a Nottingham edge, which means we teach our graduates a little bit more than what you will get in normal university. And that is how to cope with the real life situations, right? So this is an internal data in our faculty, Faculty of Science and Engineering. That's why you see FOSC here. So in science and engineering, we have 2020 statistics that says that our school, the Bioscience School, we have only 14 staff, but we have the largest amount of research fund. Research fund is money people give to us to do research. And we are about 40% of all the money in the University of Nottingham, Malaysia. And it is in millions. And why? Is because our research is solving today's problem, right? We are not looking at solving the things that are, maybe 50, 60 years uh, going to come, or whether it's in the past. We are not doing historical. We are doing today's problem, and how is that going to impact our lives in the coming future, right? And we also have the biggest pool of active postgraduates. We, at one time, most schools had about 20, 30 PhD students. We always had 40 and above, right? This is not just students who are doing research with us due to the funding, but also students who walk in and want to do research with us. They know that they can get a job elsewhere in the world, right? We are ranked fourth in research publication. Now, someone asked, if you're so good, why you're not ranked first? It is because when you work with plants or living organism or animals or even microbes, you do microbiology, you grow the bacteria, you can't get the results today, right? It's not like engineering. You do something and you are sure to get a result in a few times down the road because they're all non-like living things. When you deal with living things, time is taken, right? So, and yet we still publish in high impact factors. And for every one staff, we take care of 3 postgraduate students. So this is us. So I think you can spot me. I'm very easy to spot in this lineup. So there are 14 of us. Some of us have been around for since the school started in Malaysia, and we, each of us, you see, all of us come in all shapes, size and colors. We are very unique in our research areas. You'll never find 2 people here who are doing the same research. So that shows our diversity, and the fact that we all work together, we achieve a lot more, right? So feel free to contact me or contact Susie or people in JS, and they will let you know more. Our individual profile is in our web page, right? If you want to know what actually we are doing, if you're curious, right? Now, what you're looking at is an aerial view of our School of Biosciences in the UK. Now, University of Nottingham in the UK got 4 campuses, and we actually take over an entire campus, which is Sutton Bonington. Why is it so big? Because we have the study building, we have the farm. So this is the study building, the main building. Then we have greenhouses, we have farms, we have dairy, we even have cows, goats, and horses. Once I was in the UK and I met a student who said she came to school in a horse, and I'm like, okay, we never hear that in Malaysia. We can always come by car. She said, I just parked my horse in the stable. I'm like, okay, I thought she was joking. So people who have horses bring it there for treatments, because there's a vet clinic, and also there's brewing science. So they are doing biofuel, bioenergy, as well as fermentation technology like your yogurts and all that, right? It's a very well-known school. So this is the main building, and this is our building in Malaysia campus. Why I put them side by side is we are teaching biosciences almost, not almost, in fact, it's very similar to each other. So much so, whether you're in the UK campus or Malaysia campus, the syllabus is very same, right? So it is both the BSc Biotechnology and BSc Nutrition. These are our 2 courses. They are available in both campuses. So I wrote here outside of pandemic times, because we don't know what to expect during the COVID. Before COVID, our students travel to UK in the second year. They still pay the Malaysian fees, but the requirement is they must get something like 55 and 60% in the first year, right? That means their minimum grade should be 55 to 60%, so that second year they are allowed to go to the UK. Now, the UK campus is very nice. They never told us a max. They never capped the number, but we normally have two-way transfer where UK students come to Malaysia, Malaysia students go to UK. So you can go for half a year or 1 year, right? So again, this is before COVID, right? So after COVID, until it's fully cleared, then only we can open this up again, right? It's a great way, because if you apply to University of Nottingham in the UK directly using your A levels, it's going to be very tough to get in. But if you go through Nottingham, Malaysia, you can still experience the study, but in that middle year, right? So we work with a lot of external companies. So students who are here thinking about careers, and they said, oh, we are going to do biosciences. I don't see enough jobs in the job street for me to apply for this course. I'm a bit worried whether I'll get a job. This is just a number of companies that we work with. Our list is way long than this. And remember, we have also a very good friendship with them, which means that we always ask them to take our students when they're looking for stuff, right? Our students are also superb, right? You come in, you will be in a pool of students which are all encouraging each other, they're helping each other, and they achieve, they aim for the best. So we have students who are award winning, you have resume competition, you have students who win Bioscience Prize. This is a UK prize, by the way, given by Oxford University Press from the UK. And then we have also students who win competitions in Malaysia, right? So there is a profile here. This is an alumni. If you want to contact her, you can always let me know, and then I can always talk to her. I'm extremely proud of her. She came as a degree student, and now she is working as a research and development manager. So her expertise is product development, policy, regulation, and commercial scientific research. Now, in school, when she was in high school, like most of you were in high school, in SPM, she was the top student, right? Not This is when she was in high school, not in university. In university, in 2012, when she graduated, she was also the top student, and she surprised me because she was also a Mara scholar. You know, she's not a Muslim, but she was a Mara scholar because she was one of the top student, and she got the scholarship from STAR Education, and she joined us for degree. That means the whole of her degree was sponsored, and then she did her final year project with me. So I was her supervisor, and we won the Syngenta Award, which is an award from the UK. And her project was 86. Her marks was 86 over 100, which is the highest mark for 10-year running. No one got more than that. And you're wondering why people don't get 90 and 100 in projects, because projects are extremely, extremely, extremely hard. And she has actually her record is still standing. And then she got her own funding. We worked together, but she got her own research grant. I didn't have to pay her anything. She got her own money, and she helped me get a grant worth 500,000. Right. So until today, we still work together. So in return, I sent her to Australia to present, and we work. So my partners are in Havis, and she's working there as well. We are developing solutions for the palm oil industry. Right. So coming to the program, right? Our bioscience programs, like I said, we have about 30 degrees in the UK, but we only brought down biotech and nutrition. We wanted to bring down other degrees. In fact, we have environmental science, but in Malaysia campus, environmental science belong to a different school, not biosciences. It belongs to the School of Environment and Geographical Sciences, right? So literally, we have three programs from UK, which is biotech, nutrition, and environmental science. Now, the three postgrad courses we have is the master's and the typical PhD, right? So if you're coming after SPM, you should be doing foundation in science. Foundation is offered by Foundation in Science, a different department. And then once you complete your foundation, then you come to do the biotechnology and the nutrition. So how do we teach you? Now, Nottingham is a fun university. People think that, oh, we're traditional, we're British, we have to get 100% scores, we are like A levels, it's going to be killer. But actually, exams are always at the end of the semester. Most of the time, you're doing fun coursework. When I say fun, it's really fun, meaning you work in groups, you can do an essay, a showcase, presentation. We encourage our students to do podcasts, to do videos. Students interview people from the industry, and then people in the industry will get to know them through this way. So it's an experience, right? I will say doing your study is an experience, right? So I'm coming to biotechnology. So you cannot run away from bioscience if you don't discuss biotechnology. Bioscience is very wide. You know, you have food science, animal science, plant science, you have crop science, you have enzyme technology, you have diets, you have nutritionists. They are all bioscience. But we have one special course called biotechnology. It is about, I would say, 30 years or more, the age of the biotech when it started. But for any kind of sciences, it's still new, right? Everyone is asking what is biotechnology. Those days there were no internet, so people do not know where to find the definition. It is an interdisciplinary field of science. In fact, until today, it's hard to define what is biotech. I would say it's a biology or bioscience with technology as a tool, right? So biotech is a combination of biosciences and technology, which means all that we know about living organism. Now we include computers, we include social sciences like maybe consumer behaviors, and then we include engineering, we include things like data driven. All these is technology that can be added together with bioscience, and you get biotech. So we teach 3 out of 4. We teach plant biotech, industrial and medical biotech. We used to teach marine biotech, it's under the environmental science, but now we no longer do this. But we do have colleagues who study fish. You know, I don't know whether you like fish. they study fish and see how to improve the proteins in fish and things like that. So for us, technology is very important, especially me. What we are doing is designing machines to make life easier, right? And the engineers will work with us. Now, when we talk about plant biotech, we are talking about having plants that are very strong, very healthy, that you don't need to eat 10 different types of vegetables. You eat a few and you get all the nutrients of the 10, right? But having said that, it's also important because not all vegetables are available in all parts of the world. So we need to make sure the vegetables or any non-meat that you eat is full with nutrition, right? For the human health. Many diseases are actually lack of vitamin. People say, oh, my eyesight is getting bad. It's not because it's genetic so much. It could be because you're lacking vitamin A, right? So that sort of thing. Our main goal is still to reduce hunger, right? It looks like a very big issue to solve, but not really. Every small steps means something. And we also do novel drug discovery. We have colleagues who work on breast cancer drugs that are very safe. That means they are not as bad as the chemo treatments that cancer patients have to go through. These are just oral drugs. You can take the medicine and it will reduce, not cure, but it will reduce the symptoms, right? We also have therapeutic biotechnology where we develop vaccines. In fact, we had lots of vaccine development, but not for flu. We had other disease vaccines were developed. And in fact, when COVID came, one of my colleague was interviewed for how the vaccine is going to work, right? Because we have vaccine specialists on board. And then we also have other subjects called genomics, proteomics. So I don't know how many of you have heard of the term genetics. Now, many people say computer science is a study that's going to get lots of jobs because everything is IoT, Internet of Things, is data, but they don't know that genetic engineering is also coding. The difference between genetic engineering and computer science is one is a data code, which is in a computer, the other one is a live code in a living organism. So humans can be coded to do something. We have technologies now that can change hair color by genetically, can reduce genetic diseases that are inherited and things like that. So the world of genetics is a language. So I would recommend if you have Netflix, you should watch this program called Human Nature, right? There is a program in Netflix called Human Nature, which explains genetic engineering quite well, right? I saw some of the work that we do in the lab in that program, right? So our bioscience or biotechnology, we have industrial, plant, food, and medical. So we deal with these three, right? In fact, most of biotech goes in. Some people asking, where does yogurt and food companies come in? They come under industrial biotech. Anything that is processed is under industrial biotech, right? So our program is accredited by MQA. I added RSB, Royal Society of Biology, because our UK's biotechnology course is accredited by RSB. So we get the accreditation by extension. So we are not directly accredited by RSB, but we are part of the UK school, right? So it's important to be accredited because not all bioscience in the world are recognized, right? So I just put this up, but this information you can get from our prospectus. If you're coming with A levels, you should have a BBC, but I strongly recommend you to do foundation because it's not because foundation is easy, it's because foundation is tailor-made, right? It's tailor-made for our degree program. It teaches you a step before what we do in the degree. A levels is great if you're not decided where you're going actually. So, like I said, if you're applying A levels to any of the British universities, it's going to be high competition because most of the students are doing A levels, right? So, foundation is sort of a way the university helps the student to come in, right, and get accustomed. So, biotech career prospects, I have friends. Okay, by the way, I'm a biotech graduate year 2000. I was the millennium year biotech graduate. So you can imagine how old I am. So my friends, some have become scientists, some have become cancer researchers, some are plant scientists, some are developing animals that are so-called disease resistant, which means they are not so sick or they can't really get sick. They're not GM, They're just animals which are being trained to become healthier. And then I also have friends who are lawyers, right, and teachers. So the biotech study actually is kind of limitless. One of my friend is a forensic biologist. He actually, after his biotechnology degree, he became a policeman. He got into the sergeant level, and then he did his PhD in forensic science, right? Because he has the biotech background. So he was sent on a scholarship to the UK, and now he's back looking at crime scenes and things like that. So we have lots of students who are studying here. So you imagine we have over, at today, I think the count for our biosciences, I think we have more than 400 to 500 graduates out there who are in many industries. Some of them come back. Now, one student who's working in MSD, she's a medical liaison. She was our first batch of student. She started her love for microbiology, and then she climbed the ladder. And she's also giving a lot of talks on how to use your study to get a job, right? Okay, so I'm just going to go briefly on this. You have the video, or if you have the video, or you can talk to JS about more information. The confusion between biotech and biomedical science is so simple. Biotech, we have many species. Bioscience, only biomedical science, one species, which is human species. They only study humans, anything to do and everything to do with humans, while we biotech, we study other organisms, right? In the first year, I teach biomedical students microbiology. They come to my class, they go to my colleague's class for genetics. We are very strong in these areas. And then after that, second year onwards, their course is very different. They study pharmaceutical interactions, human development, human diseases. We, in bioscience or biotech, we study plants, crop, industrial food, medicine, and environment. Now, some are wondering, if you have medical biotech, what is the difference between medical biotech and biomedical science? Now, take COVID for an example. Biomedical science graduates are the one testing the human samples, whether it's blood sample or swab sample, to determine whether they have COVID or not, right? So that is biomedical science graduates. Who are the biotech graduates? The biotech graduates are the ones who develop the RT-PCR kit, the one who develop the vaccine. These are the biotech people. They are the ones who develop the important vaccine things that we don't really, we say, oh, there's a vaccine, okay, fine. Then we say, okay, it is the technicians who are doing all the testing. So the people who design the kit, before COVID, nobody really knew what RT-PCR was. Now you know it is the standard of test to determine your R0 number for COVID. That test was designed by biotech, right? But we cannot take patient samples. You do not see biotech graduates taking blood or swab samples. These must be done by students with biomedical background. So I hope that is slightly clear.
I am Cindy, the alumni of the University of Nottingham, Malaysia campus. I just graduated with a bachelor's degrees in biotechnology. Why do I choose biotechnology? Because biotechnology is a very fascinating area of study. We apply novel technologies in utilizing natural resources to improve the quality of human life. The lecturers here, they are very supportive and approachable. Although they encourage independent learning, but we know that they are always happy to provide guidance for us when necessary. I have met a lot of local and international friends in my school, and we have spent a lot of precious time together in lab. For the facilities wise, the university provides a lot of facilities for us, which we are not limited to just the facilities in our department. For example, my previous project was about nanotechnology, and I'm so lucky to have collaborated with the Department of Chemical Engineering to facilitate the completion of the project, which is a very good experience for me.
So I'm going to nutrition. So nutrition, you can see it is a course where it's very interesting. What you're looking at is a master chef level kitchen that we just opened this year. It's empty because it's still COVID. Our students will come back soon. Now we do, not to say bake and this one, but we are looking at new ingredients. If you remember, 10 years ago, there was no boba tea, but now we have boba tea. So somebody created it, right? So it's the same. New food are being created all the time. So we teach our students the same. But nutrition itself is a study of the food and how it affects the human health, right? Diet, health, disease. So you're wondering, wait a minute, I thought biomedical also study health and disease. No, we study from the food side, from what you eat, right? Not from what disease people have, right? So when we look at nutrition, it's important because it relates to your lifestyle, right? People want to change their lifestyle is very hard, right? If I ask you to give up your boba tea, you cry until you have no money, then only you will give up. So this happens everywhere. So what nutritionists are trying to do is teach people to change their lifestyle to become healthier. Don't take away all the good stuff, but take everything in moderation, right? And you need to be qualified. So now the nutrition course is accredited by MQA, like all courses in Malaysia. They are also accredited by Association for Nutrition in the UK, meaning if you graduate, you will become you'll become an associate. No, you won't be an associate, you'll be a graduate within the course. Then for to become a full associate, you need to work 3 years as a nutritionist, whether you're in UK, Malaysia, doesn't matter. Then you are accredited. That means you have a license. And then in Malaysia, they're also creating the same kind of license. It's called Allied Health Profession. All doctors, nurses, nutritionists, dietitians, even biomedical sciences, all the people related to human health must be licensed. This is very important because you don't want to take advice from a non-licensed nutritionist. You know, the kind that we find in internet. You know, there's a lot of internet nutritionists. So what you want is someone with a license, right? So again, the qualification is similar to biotech, right? And more details are in our prospectus. So where do nutritionists work? I don't even have to tell you all kind of food company, but some are also in government. They are trying to change the policy. For example, school children. School children were given special meals in the previous government because there is an evidence that a lot of children are coming to school hungry. And then the new government came and then the thing went away. So it was over the years, money must be allocated to feed the hungry, and hungry children cannot concentrate in class. You all were students before, so you know. So this is the kind of work that nutritionists are making noise within the government, right? They're telling the government, do something about this. And also healthcare. So nutritionists are the ones who are raising awareness. We know obesity is bad, it leads to diabetes, but we don't know what to do to change our lifestyle. So nutritionists are giving that sort of advice, right? We have students who are working in companies. We also have students who are researchers in, there's one in New Zealand. Basically, they go everywhere and then they come back. They come back to campus. So if you're a student in Nottingham, you'll meet your alumni. They'll come and give you talks and advice and things like that. So another typical question that we face is the difference between a nutritionist and a dietetics. So a nutritionist will talk about people who are healthy and who want to become healthier, or people who want to change their lifestyle. Dietetics work with patients. So the big difference is dietitians work in the hospitals. They are doing tailor-made nutrition and diet for patients because the patient needs to, like for example, if you're a heart patient, you cannot eat a lot of cholesterol things. So they actually do with that. If you want to become a dietitian, but you do a nutrition degree, there is a possibility you become a nutritionist and then you do a master's in dietetics. Directly from the nutrition course, you cannot become a dietitian, right? So we have a lecturer in school. Just now you saw the video, Dr. Soma. She's a registered dietitian in UK and in Malaysia. She actually advised people on eating habits, right? So why should you study bioscience in Nottingham, whether it's biotech or nutrition, is because of not only we give you lectures and experience, we also give you industrial placement, we put you in the companies, we bring companies to you, and do remember a lot of our graduates are already working in these companies, so it's easy for us to match you up if you're looking for a career.
A few decades ago, scientists experimented on food as a therapeutic agent treating diseases of nutrient deficiency. With the change of time, extensive research is now being done on food and diet to prevent non-communicable diseases.
At the University of Nottingham, Malaysia, academics teaching on the course BSc Nutrition have research interests that includes research in the community, that is in the general population, as also research at the cell and molecular level, which is laboratory based.
In year 1 of the course BSc Nutrition, we learn the basic principle of the science of the nutrition, like biochemistry, physiology, and microbiology.
In year 2, among other topics, we learn how food and diet can impact our metabolism and thereby influence disease processes. We do practical sessions to learn the use of equipment and appropriate procedures to assess the nutritional status of individuals.
For example, we use a non-invasive harmless technique, that is bioelectrical impedance analysis, to estimate the amount of fat within our body. Quantitative of fat mass and simple measurement of height and weight enable the researchers to predict the risk of diseases the individual may suffer in the future, like high blood pressure, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease.
Another technique we learn to use in the community is the use of ultrasound to assess bone health. This technique enables us to check if the individual is at risk of osteoporosis or osteomalacia at present or in the future.
Under the supervision of Professor Mamitra, we conduct research on musculoskeletal health in school children. And we also engage in reaching out to the elderly populations who live in homes near to our campus.
We believe that as future public health nutritionists, we should mingle in our own locality and assess their nutritional status. And in doing so, we will learn from our practical experiences of the importance of food and nutrition in health and in disease.
We practice what our teachers preach.
Right, so I'll just quickly go through, we still have a little bit of time, right? So this is the postgraduate, some colorful pictures on research. CRISPR is how you can change your gray hair to become black hair, right? That's Prof. Sandy. She's the virologist that was interviewed for COVID, right? And we have other scholarships. So for scholarships, please talk to JS. They can advise you better. More career prospects. Postgraduate, not related to you because you are not in the postgraduate level yet, right? But if you want, you can explore more with us, right? So I end there. Thank you very much. I'll stop sharing for a bit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I ran out of time because of the technical glitch just now.
No worries. Yeah, because
Thank you.
we also just show the students video already. Thank you, Dr. Christina. And now we would like to open this question and answer session. So student, any of you would like to ask any question here, you can type in the chat or you can unmute yourself. So we would invite Dr. Christina or Susie from Nottingham with us today to answer your questions.
Can I find a job easily if I didn't continue my master or PhD? The answer is yes to Vern, because it depends on what level. So if you're coming with a degree, you probably have to start working as a technical person or junior researcher or maybe even research assistant. And then when you're doing that, you can either continue studying or you can grow in your job. So my degree student, she got an internship. That means after degree, or sorry, during degree, she worked 3 months during the summer break in Lonza in Singapore, which is a pharmaceutical company. And then after that, when she graduated, they gave her a job. So she never came back to do postgrad, but right now she's a regional manager for Merck in Singapore. So I think there is a possibility. Yeah. Does Nottingham allow students to take up double degree, major, minor? I'm so sorry, Zinming, because we are a full university. Um, the double degrees, I think maybe Susie can help explain, but for biosciences, no, it's a single degree, but we do have collaboration with other universities where you get one degree from Nottingham, and I don't know how the deal works, but most of the time we are full university. You get one degree from Nottingham. Major, minor means for bioscience, no, because our course is tough. So we don't recommend you to do minor, but you can take psychology papers. We give you optional papers. You can take languages, right? So that one is still allowed, but it's like you take a subject rather than another degree. I hope that makes sense. Susie, did I miss anything?
No, Dr. Christina, you explained that very clearly. Yeah, we don't offer double degree in Nottingham, Malaysia here, like you mentioned. It's quite a heavy degree. So minor, it depends because it also depends on the degree itself, how many minor that they are allowed to do. But majority of the syllabus will still align with the students' major, I would say. Yeah.
I just want to add. I just want to add one more fact is, our degree we also teach you business. We have a subject called commercialization where we let you do enterprise. So we ask you to set up your own business. We tell students how boba came up. You design your own drink, for example. Which is nutritionally safe, no sugar, safe sugar, and things like that. So we do teach you other skills within biotech or bioscience.
Yeah, I mean, for those students they're interested in the biotech, they still have to teach the commercial people how to buy the idea. So business is crucial.
Yes.
Student, if you have any more questions, you still can contact us. Or today, we are very glad that we have Dr. Christina and Susie with us from Nottingham, Malaysia. So before we end the session today, we will play a video, then we will end. So far, any of you, if you have more questions, you feel free to find us, the student advisors from Study Hub or JS Study Solutions, and we will be happy to guide you. And so far, we thank you, Dr. Christina and Susie. And then before we leave here, let me show you another video, and please stay with us.